Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, it's funny how nothing on the left seems to ever stand up. They give themselves all these titles and monikers. We are the party of tolerance. Yeah, we saw exactly where that went. Intellectual academics. But if you break it down by IQ and success, I mean, the numbers don't exactly favor them. They claim to be the party of good information and facts and reasoning, but they're always supporting the most insane, illogical bullcrap, like men can get pregnant, for instance. They claim to be the party of science, and that their ideology is always in line with what the numbers are saying. But every single time and time again, their own studies betray them. They control the academic institutions and the research establishment, but time and time again, the research always comes up, essentially completely disproving their ideology and what they fight for in the mainstream conversation. I mean, look what's happening with some of these gender study research papers that are currently being retracted. You know, the science seems to always betray the party of science, and we got that happening once again. We got a Pew Research Center study that totally dismantles this fragile narrative that the left has been pushing lately. You know, this conspiracy that we've been hearing that Elon Musk has taken over X and turned it into a right-wing echo chamber. He now controls the algorithm and he's using it to give the right an unfair advantage. They've even delved into conspiracies suggesting that's why they lost the election.
And the keys, because the keys depend upon a rational, pragmatic electorate deciding based on governance whether the incumbent party should get 4 more years. And we've seen the explosion of some trends that have existed before, but not to this extent. Disinformation. You know, Elon Musk is, I don't know how many hundreds of billions he has. He has been the director of misinformation. 2 billion views of his spreading of disinformation, not just about the economy, but about immigrants, about minorities. We've never seen disinformation at this scale.
Well, it's yet again another bunk left-wing narrative. It all comes to an end today as Pew Research makes it very clear that the left on this issue has been full of freaking crap. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Okay, so let me pop up the graphic here on screen. We got a Pew Research study here showing, let's call it the ideological balance on different social media platforms. And as you can see, X, formerly known as Twitter, is by far the most ideologically representative and balanced social media platform out there. And really, I gotta give props to Elon Musk, because what he said was, we're aiming for that close to 50-50 split between left and right. We don't want to censor either side. We want both sides represented equally. And take a look at that. He's pretty much hitting it bang on, closer than any other social media platform out there. You know, I guess once again, credit where credit is due. Elon Musk says he's gonna do something and then actually delivers on said thing and does it in record time. He seems to be a man of integrity. He said, we're going to make this platform equal and bring free speech back, and he did exactly that. What he did, in my view, deserves high praise, but what's absolutely hilarious is listening to the left over the last year or so. I mean, the left-wing media has been losing its collective mind over Elon Musk buying Twitter. According to them, Elon Musk was taking it over in some vanity project so he could create some sort of dystopian right-wing extremist echo chamber that all revolves around his ego. I mean, every left-wing network, every publication, take your pick your poison, they all ran with that narrative.
We have now let misinformation become the accepted information. It has washed over us. Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, and then he uses it almost exclusively to be a propaganda machine.
From Musk's side, Musk obviously finds Trump's authoritarian leanings appealing, very constantly just putting out fake information. I mean, obviously he bought Twitter, turned it into X, and made it into this echo chamber that now is extremely useful to the right broadly and Trump specifically. But the fact that he just puts out this propaganda and these false claims that align so completely with Donald Trump.
He's abusing his privileged position to sow disinformation that generates discord and distrust in the electoral process. Precisely the kind of conspiracy theories that lead then to atrocious assaults on election workers.
That's the narrative they tried to run with, that Elon Musk had essentially turned X into an oven for online right-wing radicalism, a dangerous place for democracy. Rachel Maddow even essentially suggested that the federal government should be turned against or weaponized against Elon Musk.
Look, even if Trump doesn't win, the Defense Department and NASA are going to need a new arrangement for all their rockets and for all the multi-billion-dollar contracts Elon Musk's companies have with the U.S. government. The U.S. government is going to have to either unwind from all of those contracts, or Elon Musk's companies are going to have to unwind from him. This is an untenable reality in national security terms, now that we know what we know about Elon Musk.
But the whole time, this whole narrative that they built was wrong. And not only wrong, but total projection. I mean, these people, they never fail. Typical left-wing projection. The left, and especially the leftist media, aren't attacking Elon Musk or aren't upset because of bias or misinformation online or on X. No, they're just upset that they're losing control. Twitter, of course, before Elon Musk bought it and renamed it to X, well, it used to be their playground. They used to have the keys to the castle. You know, back in the left-wing heyday, when conservative voices were suppressed, dissent or counter-narrative talking points were shadow banned. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago. We all remember when they nuked the Hunter Biden New York Post story. You know, it wasn't just an accident. It wasn't just a coincidence. It was systemic. And now all of a sudden, the moment Elon Musk comes in, buys the platform and says, hey, both sides deserve to be heard, well, it's full-on freak out, full-on pandemonium on the left. What's happening now isn't Elon Musk turning X into a right-wing echo chamber. It's the introduction of balance to the public conversation. For the first time in years, possibly over a decade, the other side actually has a seat at the table. But to the left, any semblance of balance seems like a threat. It's always a threat to their power. They've gotten used to not having ideological opposition. You know, even Joe Rogan was mentioning this on his show the other day.
It's my favorite. People keep saying, I keep seeing this, where people that go over to Blue Sky, they keep saying, what Elon's done is highlight right-wing voices and accentuate right-wing, and Twitter is overrun by right-wing now. No, this is actually representative of the real country, which is 50-50. This is what you never had before, because conservative voices were always censored.
Always.
So now conservative voices and progressive voices coexist, and the progressive voices, who are the babies, don't like it, because now they have people that think completely different than them, and they can't stop them. They're used to silence them.
Right.
You used to not be able to say anything about certain things. You would get kicked off, and now you could fully express yourself.
Sure.
And you're finding out there's people you agree with, there's people you disagree with. That is the world.
Exactly right. It's not that Elon Musk is pushing some right-wing agenda or using the platform to do that. It's that for the first time, he's allowed an environment where conservatives aren't silenced. It's not some grand conspiracy. It's just basic public discourse. But the left has gotten used to not being questioned. And actually, if we go right back to the numbers that we saw in the Pew Research study, you know, the proof is in the pudding. Just take Reddit, for example. Look at the numbers. Reddit is the online left-wing haven. I mean, they don't even try to hide it before the 2020 election. Reddit just decided to delete the Donald subreddit. One morning I woke up and poof, it was gone. And let me tell you something that was personal for me. Without that subreddit, this channel probably wouldn't even exist. The first video I ever posted, I posted on that subreddit back in 2019 and got 3,000 views, and those 3,000 views propelled this entire channel. That was the only space left on that platform for conservatives, and they just straight up deleted it. It's an actual left-wing echo chamber. That's essentially what they create on their own platforms. That's what they're looking for when they escape to places like Blue Sky. The exact thing that they're claiming that Elon Musk is doing with X, and it's such a dangerous thing to create a right-wing echo chamber, they're constantly advocating for, and they definitely do. On all of their platforms, they just create left-wing echo chambers. And when I say echo chamber, I mean, well, ideologically enforced fascist nightmare echo chamber. You know, a place that isn't a hub for ideas or genuine open discussion. No, a place that is built on ideological enforcement. If you so much as hint at being right of center on Reddit, you're out, you are banned, censored, exiled, downvoted into oblivion. You're either a card-carrying member of the far left pro-Hamas communist brigade, or you're donezo. There's no in between. At least on most of the big subreddits, that is. And so essentially this Pew Research study confirms what so many of us have been saying for years. Platforms like Reddit, pre-Musk, Twitter, and even Facebook to some extent, for a long time largely have been left-wing echo chambers. And now that the pendulum is swinging even slightly back towards the middle, well, the left is outraged. And again, these These aren't people that are mad because of extremism or a right-wing takeover. They're mad because they're losing. They're mad because they can't control the narrative by controlling the channels of information anymore. The irony here is perfect. You know, the irony here is rich. The left always claims to champion diversity, but when it comes to actual ideological diversity, they lose their frickin' minds. And that's because they don't want diversity. They want compliance. They want absolute submission. That's not democracy, even though they call themselves the Democrat Party. That's tyranny. But anyways, as we know, if the leftist banshees are screeching about mud democracy or some nonsense, well then it's probably proof that we're winning in the culture war. Basic common sense is winning the day, and the leftist tyrants just can't handle it. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.